All right, Speedy Superstars. For those of you watching both, we're going to go in reverse, both buy, hold, sells. So thank you if you are one of those guys that watches all my videos, even if it's doubling up on some information. And this was obviously for the team that wants it fast. So let me know in the comments if you're doubling up. You're an absolute legend. So let's kick it off with Jaden Campbell, 453. I have him as a very risky buy, in my opinion. He could do really well. He also may struggle a little bit and not really make too much money in a team that is not going great at the moment. So 453, he's the mid-range wing fullback. Angus Crichton, he seems a very risky buy to me. I probably would advise you not to do it this week, but he could definitely come out and play good minutes and do pretty well. But it's a no for me for now. Jacob Host, I'd say he's a slightly better buy, surprisingly. He averages 42 in games where he plays over 70 minutes in the second row. So the buy in round 7 and 13 is tough. Price at 28. If he gets the 80 minutes, he should be able to do pretty well for you. So if you like, if you want a Rabbitohs player, then Host can be your guy at that cheap edge price if you're wanting to save some money for Hines or Cleary. And if you want to learn how to potentially get Hines or Cleary next week, then check out my big video. I talked about that for about 15 minutes at the start. Aaron Clark, he's a risk it buy as well this week. This is the PPM that he's going at this year, 1.09. And we know in the lock position he can get an average of 50 when he plays 50 odd minutes, but is he going to get that? They had a couple of guys out last week in Palacia and Tino, and he still played 30 minutes. So not sure if that changes much with him starting this week. He could just be straight back to the bench. So very much a risk at play. Eisenhuth, I say, is a no at this point. He's gone up too much in price, sadly. Aitken is a big risk at buy as well. He could average 50 over the next month or so and make close to 100k. Or he could be out of the side in a couple of weeks when Connolly Lemuelu comes back. But a couple of injuries for Connolly might stuff him around. Harry Grant at 765. I think he's a really good buy this week if you are in need of a hooker or you'd like some backup for Brandon Smith or something like that. He's got through his buy now and he has a really nice run of games up until Origin, where again, you'd likely sell him. But if you're a head-to-head player, you can hold him all the way through the rest of the season. He hasn't had a massive game yet. I think it's due to come soon. Jermaine Hopgood, he's at 842, priced at the 60, basically where you bought him at, or where he started the year at. And he's got a nice little section, but if he makes Origin, it's a bit tough with round 9 by round 20 by as well to go along with 13, 16, 19 if he played all those games. So I think he's a good shot to make that Queensland bench. But we've seen here he's gone, average score, bang, average score, bang. So he's definitely a guy that you're going to want in your team at some point in dual position. Tohu Harris at 762. He's a terrific purchase as well. I think he can average close to that 60. He's averaging 56 right now, but that's with a head knock game. So we know that when he plays close to the 80 minutes there in a regular, on a regular basis, that he can get close to that 60 average going forward. So he's definitely a guy that if you want for the entirety of the Origin buy period, he does miss 13 and 19, so it's not super helpful. But if you want him, go for it. Brendan Kapia-Kura I have as a hold. I do understand a lot of people are selling this week just out of necessity, and that's fine. But I would personally hold him because you're going to want him back, I think, at some point soon. And if you sell him, I don't think you're getting him back with the round 13 and 16 buy coming up there. Taylor May, I think he's a hold for one more week. They come up against a Manly team that really struggled on the weekend. And outside of a game against the Bunnies, who we know now aren't that great, they've had a good win against the Roosters, but outside of that, they haven't been, able to beat any other, really good team. So that's the worry with the Eagles, and that could mean Taylor has that upside to go nuts. But he could also lose a good amount of cash this next week coming, and then you want to sell him going into the buy. So hold or sell. Morgan Smithies, to me, he's more on the sell side, but you could hold as well, given the lower break even at 44. I just think the upside's not there for him. And out of this mid-range crew, I think he's the sell. Even over Joey Lussick, I think you can hold or sell. These are the numbers you get from Joey in 75 minutes a game. So 60 plus games that he's played, he averages 47. So if he can do that, he's 7 to 8 points underpriced still from where he's priced at now. Yes, a slightly higher break even after a couple of low ones, but they're the only 2 games under 30 he's had in the last bunch of years there. Will Penasini, I think it's a hold this week. The center position's pretty tough apart from Talangi. If you want to just go Penasini to Talangi, I understand that as well, but I would hold him just like I would hold Moses Suli in this one as well. Moses Suli, 443. Had a low one on the weekend, but he's been 29, 33, and 34 before that. Pat Garrigan, a very clear, great captaincy option. Best of the week, in my opinion. 62 is the average when Haas is not there with him. So he's a good one to get into your side at 787. That's for sure. I'd pick him just slightly ahead of Tohu Harris and slightly ahead of Hopgood as well. Flegler, I don't know if it's going to be worth it as a buy now, given he'll miss a lot of games here. Over Origin, 13, 14, 16, 18, and 19. Not very good. That's for sure, because you'll have to sell him by Origin, and he's not going to be a mid 50s to high 50s averager when he doesn't get attacking stats. Clint Gutherson's numbers are absolutely insane. He's Nathan Cleary, Nico Hines level right now with what they're averaging at 586k, so almost 300k below what those two guys are. Sorry, almost 400k to say, under what Hines and Cleary are, and he's averaging 60. He averages 61 without Moses, which is incredible, and that's with a bunch of games there from in round 22 down to round 2020 where he didn't score any tries. So you got a bunch of them last year when he came out without them. Did have a 32 in one of those games in round 11, but outside of that, 45 and 40, 43, 45, 46 are his low games and averages 61. It's pretty wild. Kalen Ponga, really good buy this week. There is a little bit of worry about rain being around all weekend, especially on Friday evening and Saturday as well. But Friday in Newcastle, plenty of rain going on. That's probably the only worry with Ponga. Otherwise, he has a really good run of games and is a terrific buy at 705k. Dylan Brown also averages incredibly without Mitch Moses. There are 62 in the sort of 9 games that he's played in that scenario without Moses. So priced at 48, he has some scores to get and some money to make. Sean Johnson 785 probably is a little bit under the buy level rating of Dylan Brown. They both won't play Origin, but Dylan's that 100k, 120k cheaper. But Johnson's a really good buy if you want to get him as well. In that half position, Blaze Talangi, the cash cow of the week. Get him in if you need someone. He should be able to get you somewhere between a 30 and a 40 average. Not sure what that's going to be, but that's what we expect. He's a very talented guy. Joe Chan, hold or sell. He's not playing anywhere this week, so is he going to come back into his team next week or the week after when he's fit? We don't know, so you can hold or sell with him. Use him as a looper. I think Satili Tupanua is a clear sell this week. He'll start to lose money. Like his break-even is not crazy high with the 26, but if you're going to be playing him this week, if he's off the bench for 20, 30 minutes, I don't think it's going to be a great score. Anywhere between 10 and 20 unless he gets a try. But that's unlikely, obviously, there. So he's on the sell list. And then the edges to finish. Eli Katoa at 664. He's a good purchase this week. I expect him to be somewhere around the 51 average. So 4 points underpriced. Got through his buy. Now you get him all the way through. I really think you get him all the way through until at least round 19. He misses round 13, but you can usually cover that one. And then, those middle ones are going to be pretty tough, and he's going to be a guy that should be there the whole time. Josh Curran, if you're looking at him as a purchase there in your edge position, but most likely it has the dual position. If you don't have too many Bulldogs players, I think he's a great purchase. When he plays over 70 minutes in the edge position, he's at a 54, which is really cool. It could get a little bit lower. There's some games there in 2022 he went lower, but for the most part, he's looking really good, and he's very important for this dog side. So big minutes, it's going to be super helpful for Josh Curran, and dual position's great. Nat Butcher, 100k more expensive, a little bit safer in his role in the position, in my opinion. Averages 55 when he plays over 70 minutes on the edge. So that's 6 points undervalued. Dual position, awesome. Plays around 13, misses 14, but you get him for 16, 17 as well. So he's a super cool option as well in that mid/edge duel. Cheapies Paul, one of the buys of the week, obviously at 585. If you haven't got him yet, I expect him to average close to 50, and that's 8 points of value, and he doesn't play Origin. He plays 13, 14, 17, 19, 20, before you could sell him in 21 if you wanted to, when they have their next buy. And then the final one is Air. It's just showing you who's hot and who's not. And Talangi and Cheapies Paul, the biggest trade-ins. Pikura, Chan, and Cleary still the biggest trade-outs. And don't really have anything against any of the other buys in Samuel Lafinu, James Schiller. Not ideal. Both of them, I think Finu's gone up a bit too much in price. Justin Olam, a little bit of a chasing points one for him, so I'd suggest not to. And Fina Furiaki, I just don't think that he's going to get regular 30s and 40s. But that game wasn't great for any of the Cowboys guys. So that's it, guys, with this video. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next few.